Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Monday. It's time for All-Jo Madden over here on Picks and Parlays. Great show for you today. Sean Higgs is going to be joining me. We're going to be going over everything that you need to know tonight between the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Buffalo Bills. Falcons at home. So that's going to be an interesting one. I got some great props in that game for you. I've got a player you definitely want to fire up in that one. And then we're going to look at MLB. We've got two games here in MLB. We have the Seattle Mariners taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Game 2. Toronto got off to a hot start in yesterday's game. We got a home run out of George Springer, but that was it. Out of the Jays, Seattle ended up taking yesterday's game. And then we have game 1 between the LA Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers. So looking at the playoff picture, how we are sitting right now, you guys, I'm just going to pull up that for you, looking at where that bracket is sitting. We're looking at your postseason picture right now. So the LA Dodgers and the Brewers, like I said, this is game number 1. The Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays, we've got game number 2. So which teams do you think are going to make it through to the World Series? What's a matchup you guys want to see? Drop it in the comments on the live chat. If you're watching over on X, do come on over to YouTube so you can weigh in on those comments. Now, we are running a poll, and unfortunately, no graphics this morning for the polls, you guys. I apologize for that. But just looking at where you guys are going, we did ask on tonight's Monday Night Football matchups who X was betting on. The Buffalo Bills versus the Atlanta Falcons. We do see the love coming in. 53% of bets coming in for the Buffalo Bills. So if you want to be on the book side, only 16% of love coming in with the Falcons plus the 3.5. This one sitting at a total of 49.5. We are seeing this one pretty split for those bets. 17% of you liking the over on X and 49.5 to the under, only 13%. Now, when we look at the later game, the Chicago Bears versus the Washington Commanders, we are seeing the love coming in for the Bears plus the 5.5. That's getting 33% of the love. The Washington Commanders laying the 5.5, 28.1%. And that total of 49.5. 33.3% of you are thinking this one goes over that total. The under, only 5.3% of the love. Now, if you remember the last time these two teams faced off, the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders, we did see Jaden Daniels with that Hail Mary to win the game. Remember, in 2024, number 1 and number 2 draft picks, Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels. We're going to see what they're able to bring in this game here versus each other in this one. Are we going to see the fireworks that we saw last time? Well, Ben Johnson off a bye has been strong with other teams. We'll see if he can bring that to the Chicago Bears. The Bears will struggle to run against Dan Quinn's defense, but will they be able to move it on the secondary that has had some struggles? And we do have question marks about Caleb Williams' blind side because he does have an inexperienced player on his blind side. They are coming in off that bye, like I said. So we'll see what they have against Washington Commanders in Washington. This should be the best game, in my opinion, of the two. The other game, the Falcons versus the Bills. The Falcons at home. That's a short spread there. The Buffalo Bills off a loss. We've seen these teams that aren't supposed to take losses losing those back-to-back games. So we'll see what the Buffalo Bills are going to do in this game. They're going to have to slow down Bijan Robinson. Little hint to where I'm going to be firing it up, because the Bills, they've been giving up those yards on the ground. So we're going to get into all that. We're going to look at baseball. There is a loaded slate out there on the ice as well. There's a ton to get into here with Sean Higgs. I'm going to bring him in, and we're going to go over everything that you want to be looking at tonight, especially in this Bears versus the Washington Commanders game. So let's bring Sean Higgs into the show. Sean, happy Monday. Happy Monday.
It is. It's Monday. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good.
So saw you yesterday with a little wager talk show a little bit.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun on the End Zone on Wager Talk. How long did you stick around?
Stayed around for the entire early card. I was there. So
nice.
Rode it to the end.
Yeah, for sure. And nice to see you here this morning. It was a great day out there yesterday. How did you do in the NFL yesterday?
5-2 day. Take a 5-2 day. I lost the Niners and the Lions, but I had Pittsburgh. I had a good number on the Colts early in the week. I had I did not put it on Picks and Parlays as sell it as a package. Like if you're, I have like season people monthly passes, so they got it early. I'll put my games out Sunday, Monday, so that was a early 3.5, which ended up winning. If the game would have opened at 8 or 9 or big number like that, I probably wouldn't have played it. Maybe I would have even came in on Arizona in that spot. It's a big overreaction for a backup quarterback who's won games in the NFL. Which is kind of like why I had Mac Jones, Jacoby Brissett. I'm looking at this line for them this week. I'm really torn. I want to take them here, believe it or not, Arizona off that game. It's 6.5. I kind of want to take them. I'm worried they're going to put Murray back in there. I don't want that. I'd rather have Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll take a winning day. It is what it is.
Yeah. Always great to have a winning day out there, Sean. We did see those games kick off yesterday over in London with the Denver Broncos getting an ugly win over the New York Jets. The Jets, I tell you, they find a different way to lose the games. But if you were rolling with the Jets plus the 7 points, you did cover. You also got that under. We saw New England get the win over the New Orleans Saints. Anyone that was holding the 3.5 with the Patriots, it was a little sweaty. I'm not going to lie, especially when you looked at the scoring in the second half there, but that under cashing nicely. And the Chargers, Sean, they gave me a panic attack. I took them live on the end zone yesterday. I tell you, I didn't know if they were going to get it done.
They almost didn't get it done there. They got down the field late to punch it in there, but tough game. I liked Miami in the points. Just because of the Chargers, you're a Charger fan. You got some injuries on that offensive line, right? So it's bad spot, West Coast to East Coast, early game to boot. Like they gave the Chargers to 1 o'clock. I had the Niners. I thought it was a little better because not only did I have extra rest from a Thursday night game, I had a 4:25 start. You guys were up there at 1 o'clock. You had to play there in the heat of the day. So I thought, you know what, maybe worth a little shot there. Barely got there, right? I mean, Derwin James could have took that ball to the house, and it changes the whole aspect of things. And that's baseball, Susan. It is what it is. Just kind of move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Other games, we did see Pittsburgh nicely cover that spread, winning 23-9 over Cleveland. That was a line, Sean, that I wish I altered up. I was so confused, and it started off slow. It started off with a little bit of stress. If you were rolling with Pittsburgh laying the 5.5, it did fire up, I believe, to 6.5, but I couldn't understand why only. It was Mike Tomlin off a bye, and yes, they'd been over in Dublin, but you had the Cleveland Browns coming in off playing in London the Sunday before. They didn't take a bye. They didn't elect to take a bye.
Nope.
Were you confused by that spread of 5.5 at all? Because I was.
I thought it'd be higher. Honestly, I had Pittsburgh, and I said it on my little show. I said it on other shows. I said, we're taking Pittsburgh next week because it was probably when we're talking about the Cleveland game. I think I even said it here on the show. I said, we're taking Pittsburgh that week. Cleveland was going from Detroit to England to Pittsburgh and would have Pittsburgh sitting there off of a bye week. And then you flip it the week before Cleveland was in England and decided to go with a rookie quarterback. I was all on Pitt. It was my best bet, my top play of the day. I was a little concerned when it was like 9-0. I think I said in the Wager Talk Live, the end zone show, I was like, this is going to be a horrible non-cover here. Why do I see it just coming to like a 23-20 game? Like they're just not scoring touchdowns. But Cleveland's got a decent defense. Like, let's be honest, the defense is all right. The offense is struggling. You got a rookie back there. What do you expect? But this team doesn't quit on the coach. No. If they didn't like their coach, this team would be getting trucked out of the building, right? Even last year, they were competitive with DTR and all these other guys they put in there. Bailey, whoever they put in there. It doesn't make a difference, right? Yeah. When were they getting beat up by 30, 40 points? It's when they had Deshaun Watson in there. Everybody else, they play.
Yeah.
Tough game this week, though.
Right? No one likes Watson. Right. Okay. So then we did see Dallas fall to the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers were a 3-point dog in that one. We saw Seattle get a strong win, 20-12. That game was kind of slow, especially in the second half. But Seattle, 13 points in the second quarter. It stayed under that total. I expect a little bit more out of the Jags, but I did expect Seattle to be able to get the win. So I was on Seattle and the over. So that bit me a little bit there. We saw Vegas get things together. I thought Geno Smith threw a pick. It wasn't a pick. And then the last game, the Packers versus Cincy, that I want to mention quick before we move on to that night game. The Packers, they stressed me out. Joe Flacco coming in for the Cincinnati Bengals. Sean, we have to give him a little bit of props for how solid he looked with a new team straight out of the gate.
Listen, the guy is a pro. He came off a couch literally and threw for a couple hundred yards. He's a professional. And the problem is that he's behind a bad offensive line, right? He's got guys around him. He's got two great wide receivers, decent tight end. I'm not shocked that they performed that good. I shouldn't say that, because if that was the case, I would have took them. I didn't take them. The offensive line is a problem, and I thought Green Bay off a bye week, maybe they pull that away and end up covering that number. I'll tell you what, though, I bet the Bengals on Thursday night plus 5.5 at home here versus Pittsburgh. There you go. I took them. This week.
Early look there at the Bengals plus the 5.5. Yeah, Joe Flacco with another couple of days under his belt with this team. I was so impressed with what we saw. He did wear the plays on his wrist, John, something we normally don't see out of Joe Flacco because he normally has them all upstairs in his head, but he admitted that he had to wear them this week. So I can't imagine the damage he's going to be able to do with this team. It's crazy to think he's already played this team as an opponent this season, and now he's their quarterback.
And listen, they're familiar with him, right? I mean, it's he's in this division. This is his little spot, But again, you're a borderline Hall of Fame kind of guy. You're going to come in here with pretty good wide receivers. I'm thinking it'll be okay. Again, the problem is the offensive line. It gets Joe Burrow nearly killed.
Yeah,
and
it's terrible.
This is what Flacco's going to do. He's going to keep you in a few of these games, maybe steal you some wins. Veteran leadership, blah, 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 all that nonsense. But I like him. I think, you put a guy like that on a team. Like, listen, man, they were looking to get Kirk Cousins. I'd rather have Flacco. Flacco. You've seen him for the last couple of years here. You know exactly what he is.
Flacco can put some magic out there, right? It's Flacco. And his first name's Joe. I got a soft spot for any Joes out there. Okay, last game. What the hell happened to the Lions? Because I tell you, I was right in the Lions plus 2.5. I didn't expect that out of Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. I was watching that game, Sean, and I was getting super frustrated out there. I started playing on my phone because I was so frustrated with what we were seeing out of the Lions. They just couldn't get anything done.
Kansas City is a defensive team now, but you saw the flashes of the offense here. And I'm not going to get into no flags being thrown on Kansas City and all that other kind of nonsense, questionable calls. Yeah. I had the Lions, and I took the Lions a week ago thinking short week for Kansas City, and I had the Jags, so I had them coming in off a loss. But the offense looks like it's kind of finding itself, right? Kind of they had the big game versus Baltimore against a bad defense, but they still scored against the Jags. They scored a little bit here at home versus a better Detroit team. I think Kansas City's kind of slowly coming back together offensively. The problem had been the wide receivers, right? Guys healthy, not playing. But if these guys are going to be on the field, I think, you want to take a Kansas City future. I'm not going to tell you to run away from it. And I'm one, not that I said Kansas City's dead and this and that. I just thought until you see the offense kind of progress a little bit, that, coming in the season, Baltimore or Buffalo would give them a hard time. I don't know, man. I mean, Bills are good. This isn't a knock on the Bills, but boy, if these guys are healthy, your Worthies, your Brown, and these kind of guys hunt. You got dangerous kind of guys around Mahomes. And listen, Andy Reid's the best coach. I want to say he's better than Bill Belichick. I said it. I said what I said. You saw Belichick without Tom Brady. And we've seen
Why did that
Andy
just feel
Reid,
like a George Costanza moment? I said what I said.
I said what I said. Listen, we've seen Andy Reid without Mahomes, and the guy got to a Super Bowl and championship games with Donovan McNabb. So, I think he's a better coach. He's great. So I'm Kansas City back on my I guess you could call them my 2-bet list. I'm not really not really going to avoid them too much. I think the offense is dangerous once again.
Absolutely. So you guys, Kansas City next week for week 7. We're going to talk week 6 Monday Night Football bets, but I just wanted to look at that. Look ahead for you for Kansas City. They're currently laying 10.5 versus the Vegas Raiders. KC will be at home in Arrowhead in that one. That is an AFC West divisional matchup, so a pretty big one there. We'll have the Jets at home versus the Carolina Panthers. The Jets are a 1-point favorite, winless on the season. Hard to believe they are already 0-6 to start the season. And then any other games really to note, we have the Cowboys at home versus Washington. The Cowboys a 2.5-point dog. And Detroit at home versus Tampa Bay. There's some great matchups when you look ahead to next week. Week 7 is going to be an interesting one. Sean, you got the Eagles looking to get back on track versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings a home dog on Sunday, 2.5-point dog, and then the Jags a home dog versus the LA Rams. But let's jump into tonight's games here, Sean. We're going to focus on the game between the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders with you. This one sitting total of 49.5. The Chicago Bears are plus 220 dog here on the road, plus 5.5 on that spread. The other game, Sean does have a premium play out for. Sean, they want to go over and grab your premium play on Picks and Parlays. What else can they get over there?
Yeah, so the Bills Falcons, I got to play up there. My top Monday night game there. Go 5-2 Sunday with NFL. So go get that. And there's also Major League Baseball. We'll talk some of that here as well. But this Bears Washington game. Let's go. This is gonna be a good one here. Now, I'm not a Bears guy, Joe. The Bears and Miami are the only 2 win totals I took this year. I took both teams to go under that win total. But this one here, I'm going to be looking at the Bears catching a 5.5. I just feel that with a quasi-new quarterback, right, because you got a new coach in here and all this stuff, short of opening day where you're all scripted and ready to go, you're off a bye week, this is a game that you should win. You should win this game. I know they're going to have the revenge spot of the crazy Hail Mary last year. That's all fine and dandy. But you know what? You had a new coach in here. Maybe he throws it out there like, look what these guys did to you last year. You had them on the ropes. Let's get them. Bye week, extra prep. Daniels, as good as he is, he's been a little banged up. He's really kind of a hit away from being out. Maybe he's not as electric running the ball. Sign me up for the Bears here. Sign me up for the Bears. It's really, to me, I have time to prepare. I have the better rest, which, again, anybody wants a little time off, you're dinged up. And you're playing a team you should have won last year. A team in Washington last year. How many one-score games did these guys have last year, pulling them out of the hat? Right? Oh, do the Bears win outright tonight? I don't know about that. Can this be a field goal type game? Absolutely. 5.5 points. I'm taking Chicago.
Okay, Chicago is.
Not only is this a free pick, this is actually on the site. This is a premium one. I didn't put a package up because I don't throw packages up for every single game I put up. I throw a lot of volume out there in sports. I try to put my favorite draw, my favorite, else I wouldn't have bet on. But this is a game I got money on myself. If you a weekly pass person, a monthly pass, you will see this up there tonight. So I am high on the Bears. So there you go. The least you could do is hit the like button for the All-Jo Madden show. You're here. You're getting free plays.
Yeah, premium absolutely, you guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and the notification bell. And if you're watching it on repeat, another great way, if you can hype this video or if you can leave a comment below, it really helps us here. We want to be running 5 days a week, right, Sean? I need more Sean Higgs on this show as well. He's always bringing the heat, bringing the fire. I want to throw out a couple of props here just to get your thoughts. Okay. I know they're not official picks, but we got Jaden Daniels. He's coming in of 221.5 for his passing prop. Caleb Williams' number is a little bit higher, 234.5. to the over or under. We know Dan Quinn's secondary here for the Commanders isn't as strong as I would have expected this season. Their run defense is so solid, though. Higgs, he's holding opponents to 85 rushing yards per game. So the Bears will have to move the ball through the air. Who do you think either like Caleb Williams' biggest target out here? Is it Rome Odunze in this one? Or do you think, or his longest pass? You got anything for us with Caleb Williams?
That's his guy, Rome Odunze. So you want to do his yardage and stuff like that. I didn't jump into any of the props. It's still, I'm doing like college football for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday right now. I'm like, we got all this football. So maybe I'll get those something later for him. I do like the passing yardage is over. Just based on if I'm taking a dog, I need points to win, right? You can't win if you can't score, right? So I need points, which in turn is going to be on Williams making stuff happen. So throw the ball to your wide receivers. They brought this cat in here, right? They drafted him. Oh, he's going to be good. He's got what? He's got touchdowns. He throws them the ball. So out of the two, again, I would lean Caleb Williams just because one, I had the 5.5. And I don't know, again, with Daniels, you got a sore knee. I don't know. Okay, you're gonna throw more in the pocket, but you're also prone to maybe tweak it. Maybe you get hurt or something. I don't want to risk that. Again, I when you do a prop, Joe, to be on a different size and stuff, it's tough to cheer for. That's why I try not to really get into, because I'm like, I got this game, but I need this other guy in the other team to do something. Like, I need a touchdown, but just from him. Yeah, really, I can't do that. No. So I'm going to be biased towards my pick, and I think Caleb Williams has a big game here. And that's that. Listen, I like the points. Obviously, I think we have a chance to win it outright. I don't have two-way wins from the Bears. Again, I have under 8.5. That being said, I will gladly sign up for his passing yardages tonight. And you want to do an anytime tutty with Rome there? Again, as long as it's not juicy, Joe, I'm not going to tell you to come in here late 130s, 140s. I need –
Oh, yeah. Rome Odunze is coming in at plus 145 for the anytime tutty for the Chicago Bears. Go. Yeah, the favorite.
Make it official for the show. Do Rome for 145. We'll take it.
Yeah, Rome, the favorite coming in for the Bears at plus 125 is DeAndre Swift, and then it is Rome Odunze, and then DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is an interesting look. Sean, I already grabbed him over his 39.5 receiving yards in this one, but we know Odunze has been able to score in every game thus far this season for the Chicago Bears, so he is just that main target out there for Caleb Williams. If you want to go further down the list, Cole Kmet coming in at plus 310. And Loveland, you got to love the name Loveland out there. Plus 310 if he can get in the end zone. So, and I put
a little flyer on that guy. I mean, Cole Kmet's son, he was supposed to be the it kid over there, and now they drafted Loveland to take his spot. So.
Yeah, and then if we're I know, Sean, you're not going to be looking at any of the props out here for the Washington Commanders because your bet is on the Bears plus the points. I just want to note for you guys that are listening, if you're looking at Bill Crosby Merritt here, he's minus 165 to get in the end zone. That is just so juicy. I would not touch it at all. You're then looking at Deebo Samuel's coming out here. He's not 100%. He's coming in at plus 125, but he is a prime target out there. Jaden Daniels to rush it in himself is coming in at plus 125. And then you've got Zach Ertz coming in at plus 210. We have seen the Bears really sneakily tight on tight ends. So be careful if you're looking at Zach Ertz in this one. I do think another way to go if you're looking for a deep threat, and again, Sean is rolling with the Bears, so he's not going to look at it, but is Luke McCaffrey here coming in for the Washington Commanders. He's plus 370 for that anytime tutty. He is that Hail Mary kind of guy with his hands out there for Jaden Daniels. So plus 370, he might be worth a look for that anytime tutty. But those are the touchdown props. Those are where we're going. Sean Higgs is going to go with the Bears plus the 5.5. And look at Rome Odunze. He's such a solid target. So it's going to be a great game.
It's worth the 145. That's a good number. That if you saw Aaron Judge or Ohtani or some guy in an RBI guy at a plus 145 RBI, like they think it'll say, wait a second. I mean, this guy's going to get up there. He can hit a home run. He's a 30 home run, 40 home run guy, and you're going to give me 145 on just a ribby. And here's Odunze, who has been his number one red zone target, and you're talking a 145.
Yeah.
it's almost on principle. You got to say, you know what, I got to take that, and then again, you look for something a little deeper for some fun money. But this is you want a little more heavier money, serious money on this one. I would say yes.
Yeah, I would say yes as well. And again, if you guys are looking for Sean Higgs's best bets over in the Bills versus the Falcons game, head on over to picksandparlays.net for those. But Sean, let's turn to baseball. This is the bracket as we're sitting right now. Toronto got off to a hot start yesterday, but then that ended. Seattle ended up getting the win. So they've taken game number 1 here. And then the LA Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers will kick off today as well. I know you have a pick for us in the Seattle versus Toronto game. Game 2 here, Sean. What are you looking at?
Yeah, nice win for Seattle. I know I had Seattle yesterday, so we're happy about that. I'm having a nice little baseball season over on site. And I know the thought there would have probably been, 15-inning game, use a lot of pitchers. Toronto's been waiting there since Thursday. We're ready to go. Seattle's a scrappy bunch here. But I look at this game here, and I like Yusevich. But I want to say a under in this one. I don't want to just jump on Toronto. And again, would I lean Toronto? Yes. Big win for Seattle. They've just taken home field. Remember, 2-3-2, Joe. They're going to go. They'll play here and they go 3-3 in Seattle. Seattle got to feel good about that after how it went down against Detroit. I just think the emotion of the big win to get here. Last night's come from behind, 2 late runs. Raleigh hits the homers. You pull it out 3-1 late. Maybe you're a little, not deflated, but the adrenaline's kind of gone. You're kind of running on the adrenaline from the big Game 5 win and this or that. I want to go under the 7.5 in this one. I think I like this. Again, this is your neck of the woods here. I like this kid pitcher-wise. He's going to strike out a bunch of guys. I think they score a few runs, and I think Seattle, again, a lot of – not that the bubbles burst. That's not what I'm saying. I still think Seattle – I'm pulling for my guy Razor's in the house. Nice. I'm pulling for a Seattle Brew Crew World Series. But I think in this spot I could just see kind of an exhale a little bit like, all right, we got that one, we feel good, and then you come out and lose this one like 5-1 or something, and you take it back home. But give me the under 7.5.
The pitching matchup, you guys, is Logan Gilbert coming out here for the Seattle Mariners versus Yusevich. We saw Yusevich come out, Sean, and I was blown away by this kid in the last round. He came out so strong, only 22 years old. 4 games under his belt or something insanely low like that. He came out with such poise. Watching him play in that last game, like you said, absolute strikeout machine. This is normally a game when I like the under as well. I'm looking at that first inning for the Nerfy. The Nerfy in this game, you guys, is minus 146. The books are on it. Do you think after that performance that there's more tape out on him? Do you think it's going to be easier for Seattle to get to him? Because his strikeout prop's only 5.5. He fired it up last time. He was just lightning. And Logan Gilbert's coming in with a strikeout prop of 4.5. Toronto's been pretty disciplined.
I mean, you got 3 games of this kid, right? How many games he pitched in the regular season? He's got 3 regular season games and the playoff game. He's going to strike out cats. He had the big strikeout in the regular season, and he had some last game. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's a question of them having film on him. I still lean to like the young guys who people haven't faced at all. It's one thing watching tape. Then again, this is the playoffs, right, bro? I mean, everybody's holding that bat a little tighter. The pressure's on. I mean, Toronto's down 0-1. They're thinking we're 0-2 here. We're done, right? So it's not like Seattle's got the house money, right? Yeah. Strikeout props, I don't know. I'll tell you what, 145 is really top of my money line. If I'm doing faves in baseball or stuff, I'm going to grab fades, 145, 150 maybe. Then I start looking at run lines. I could get behind a Nerfy there at 145. That is not a bad number for a playoff game where I think it's going to be low scoring anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I completely agree. So Yusevich came out in that last game versus the Yankees with 11 strikeouts. Yep. He did have 16 outs in that game. Looking at the Seattle Mariners here and the numbers we're getting, for you, Savage versus them. His strikeout prop again is at 5.5. His outs recorded is only 13.5 outs at -122 to the over. Logan Gilbert's coming in here with 14.5, -116 to the over. So the books aren't thinking this kid's going to stay in long here for Toronto. I don't know, Higgs. I think he could probably get over the 13.5 at -122. There also is a combination starting pitcher.
He's not going to go 5 innings today?
Why wouldn't he go 5 innings?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm with Razor on this one.
Look at that.
Listen,
Razor sharp.
I'll say yes, Razor. I'm with you on this one.
Yeah.
Austin strikeouts. Seattle strikes out like anybody's business. I mean, this is you're going to see both teams with 10 strikeouts in this game. So, yeah, give me the strikeouts. And it is Thanksgiving, Richie B. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's Thanksgiving. The Jays are the Canadian team. The Jays got to get it done here for Canada. Everyone's going to be watching.
Are you eating turkey or elk? What do you guys eat on Thanksgiving?
Ooh, you don't eat elk. Who eats elk? No, that's really Canadian. That's not something that ever makes my dinner table, Sean. I had a turkey on Saturday night. So, had the turkey. And I'm going to celebrate American Thanksgiving, too. Us Canadians, we celebrate both. I don't know. You guys are missing out down there in America. We take your holidays and our holidays.
Yeah, today we have a Columbus Day, so everybody should be eating some pasta for Christopher Columbus, little Parm Day today.
Yep. I love it. Yeah, let's go big with you, Savish, here. I think he goes over the 13.5 outs and over the 5.5 strikeouts. You can also do a combination bet over on FanDuel. I love these combos in the first inning for you, Savish and Logan Gilbert to combine for 4+ strikeouts. They need 2 and 2 or 3 and 1. Any combination of those strikeouts coming in at +350, always worth a little bit of a sprinkle when you think those pitchers are going to come out solid. The only thing is Toronto has been pretty disciplined at the plate. So you'd need Savage to get, I think, 3 and 1 out of Logan Gilbert. Higgs.
Yeah, no, I think Savage is going to stack them up today.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good one. Do you have a premium pick in the Dodgers game today?
I do, but I'll throw out here what I think about it. I mean, whatever. I don't mind coming out and talking. Most people, Joe, you come in here, you watch a free pick videos, you're not buying the picks anyway. So I'm like, you know what? Just at least hit the like button. I'll give you my thoughts and how I am on the games. And MLB, here we go. Number 2 for MLB on the year on Picks and Parlays, 333 wins. You know, so I'm doing something right. So listen to what I got to say. And hit the like button, you jackals. Let's go. So Dodgers and the Brew Crew. I can't believe that the Brewers are sending out Katana here. I mean, the guy hasn't pitched in a month, and the games before that, he was giving up 3, 4, 5 runs a game. That's just not good. I mean, I got the Dodgers, like we said here. I got to play on it. Run line +110. I think they're going to club him like a baby seal today. This is just a spot for the Dodgers to beat up on a bad pitcher. And I say that, and I like Katana. He's a guy I'd back during the season, whatever, but hasn't pitched in over a month. When he pitched, he wasn't good. Dodgers sending out a cat today who could very well go 5 scoreless. Bad, Brewers. Listen, I know Woodruff was a little banged up, and you're playing games with the Cubbies to go 5 games. You couldn't get your rotation set here. I thought you had a shot at beating these guys. You're going to have to really shock me here with a win, because I don't think you're getting it. I think the Dodgers run line, I won't be shocked at it over here as well. Like, I can see the Dodgers win this one like 8-2 or something. I think they're really going to hit Catania right out of the gate. I know Tani hasn't really hit that well, and Freeman, all these other cats. But this is why the Dodgers have a $600 million payroll. It's going to take care of business against the mediocre kind of pitching, which this is right now. I know they've kind of like the Yanks. They kind of struggle against better teams, but a better team throwing out a worse pitcher. I'm siding with LA here. I'm siding with LA. Let's go Dodgers run line. You want to do the team total over? Again, I think they're hitting this cat. I think no Nerfy here. This is a Yerfy. I think the Dodgers go right out of the gate.
Oh, heck yeah. I love looking at the Dodgers for that Yerfy. They've been strong for us this season. Cashing that Yerfy. Their team total is 4.5 for anyone looking for that number. You're getting that at +104 to the over. And let's look at that Yerfy price. I'm interested to see which way the books have this your fee. So the over for the yes runs in the first inning, it's plus 104, Sean. I can't believe they're giving us that value. Razor Sharp Picks is rolling in here with Snell over 6.5 strikeouts, over 17.5 outs, 300 each for him. What do you think of that?
I think the strikeouts could get there. The problem with Snell and Razor tell you this too, man, is sometimes he walks cats, like he's always around in the zone. So he's either walking, you see him, sometimes he's got like 5 walks or like, 5 innings, 1 hit. He strikes out 8 guys. Yeah, but he's got 5 walks. Like they pull him because he's throwing a lot of pitches. The strikeouts for sure. The outs, 6+. I mean, it won't shock me if he goes 7. Actually, it would shock me because he's not really that's big money for him. That's big innings for a guy who's always hurt. I prefer the strikeouts over his innings because if they start squeezing him, those strikeouts turns into walks, and it's a 7-4 game. He's out because he's got 100 pitches in 4 innings. So strikeouts 100% there, Razor. I'm with you.
Sean, I appreciate all your time here on All-Jo Madden this morning. It is a great day. It's loaded. There's a loaded day out there on the ice as well. Don't know if you've been playing around with hockey at all.
I was just talking to some other cats about this. I said, hockey, NBA, I don't really jump into right out of the gate. Like baseball, it's a sport I played as a kid and watched my whole life. So I could do opening day baseball and just jump right into MLB. I know it. I know the player. I just know the sport. Hockey and NBA to me, one, they're kicking off or tipping off and dropping pucks in October, used to be November, like the middle of football season where I'm in a flow with college or NFL, right? So for me to pivot and then like, hey, let's look at opening numbers or opening games. Like today, you got early games here for the holiday. And none of my angles really work because some of these teams have played 1 game, some have played no game. You know what I'm saying? Like the way the schedule was, there's nobody on a 4 game in 5 nights. Nobody's like it's the first game of a long road trip. Well, I mean, dude, you should be rested, bro. You've been sitting on your ass all summer. So there's, you weren't outshot 56-13 and lose 6-1. Like, and you're gonna come back angry today. There's no real spots for me to really what I like when I do my hockey. I look at stupid things like that and trips and rest and October. That is not coming to play. Not with hockey guys. Not with these cats who come in. Oh, they knock your teeth out. That's all right. I'm going to go have my gum stitched. I'm going to come back in and play.
Oh, absolutely. Hockey players are a different beast out there on the ice, Sean. They can be tired on those road trips, but those guys never give up.
Yeah. So October hockey to me, if I see something, maybe somebody loses 10-0, maybe I'll come back on the team the next day. Yeah. Other than that, I'll be selective in that. Same with the NBA. It's early and nonsensical. I'd rather worry about college basketball in a month than trying to get a feel of the NBA. But hockey, again, how I do it, it's again, there are a lot of better cappers. So we got Terry Edelman here. Where's Terry? Terry's your hockey guy. He loves his ice. He's good on ice. Tim Earl. I know where I'm at, how I do things. And right now, you don't want me for hockey. You don't want me for hockey. I'll be honest.
Sean is crushing it in the NFL. He's crushing it in MLB, college football. In the NFL tonight, best bet is the Bears plus the 5.5 versus the Washington Commanders. And then out there on the Diamonds, it is the under between Seattle and Toronto. Under 7.5 on this Columbus Day and Canadian Thanksgiving, Sean. It's going to be a great day. I hope you have a good time. You've got your show coming up in a little bit here. Yeah,
a little midday money. Gonna just kind of recap yesterday's stuff. Give out a couple freebies. You got a couple of them here, so I don't know what I'm going to add to it. Just come in for the humor, I guess. I don't know.
I love it, Sean. Richie P coming in with the Abs will slaughter the Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres looking to get on track with this game versus the Colorado Avalanche. Richie, it's going to be a good game out there. So I'm going to go over a couple of those NHL games.
He said the Avalanche, the ice. They're 180 faves on the road.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross.
Richie P.
We're going to go over a couple of those things.
Richie's my guy. Richie, what are you doing to me?
Well, he's probably thinking they're going to cover that puck line, laying 1.5 goals. So he's probably going there. We got so many of you jumping in over on YouTube. Thanks for getting us over here on YouTube. Brady Tkachuk, I couldn't agree more, for the Ottawa Senators, over 3.5 shots. I'm hoping he gets the point tonight, Richie. I've got him in my NHL player point survivor. So let's go with Brady Tkachuk for a big one. He's had success before versus them.
It's all right. I don't know.
Hey, Sean.
I got Keith to score a goal tonight. Keith Tkachuk.
Ooh, Keith Tkachuk, hey?
Yeah, right.
I love it.
Him.
Sean, thank you so much for joining me here. I love starting the week off with you. Best of luck in all your bets tonight.
Thanks, Joe, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, Sean. Okay, you guys, if you're looking for Sean Higgs's best bets, do head on over to picksandparlays.net to grab all of his plays. Remember, he did give you the Bears, which was one of his premium picks today. There also is the Weekend Warrior. It's going to be coming up this weekend. You don't want to miss out. You can get Sean Higgs's best bets over on the Weekend Warrior for Saturday and Sunday in football for just $49. If you bought it last weekend, you will get that premium pick for tonight if you got it last weekend, because they do throw in those Monday plays for free. So hopefully you guys did get on that, because he does have a premium pick out for the Bills versus the Falcons. So let's get into a couple more things that I'm liking out there today when we look at today's slate. So the Buffalo Bills versus the Atlanta Falcons. I told you guys at the start of the show, this is one where I'm looking to fire up a player. I love playing those alt lines when I am high on a player out there because of a couple of different reasons. And it is in this matchup here. We got a spread of 3.5. The Bills were originally a 4-point favorite coming into this one. Michael Penix Jr. here for the Atlanta Falcons versus Josh Allen. Now, we know Josh Allen absolutely can be Superman out there on the field. But you look at Michael Penix Jr. in his last 3 home games, he's been able to throw for over 298 passing yards in each of those games. Michael Penix Jr. coming in with a number of 225.5. I think it is a solid number for the over, but I'm a little concerned because I do think we are going to see Bijan Robinson be the main weapon out here for the Atlanta Falcons. Looking at Bijan Robinson in this game tonight, we are seeing his rushing prop. Let me just pull it up here. I believe it's 73.5. Why am I forgetting this number? Because I fired it up. We look at the Atlanta Falcons, and they're so solid with Bijan Robinson running the ball. And the Buffalo Bills, yes, they did look better in their last game against the run versus the Patriots. But the problem here is they're still allowing an average of 145 rushing yards per game. So just pulling up Bijan Robinson's rushing prop, because I fired it up to 100. It is 73.5. To the over, that's minus 112. And I kind of say that's a little boring, right? And you guys might not agree with me. I know the books are normally pretty dead on, but I'm looking for Bijan Robinson to go off in this game. If you want to take the over 73.5 and then ladder it, that's what I would suggest. You're looking at 80 plus at plus 114, 90 plus at plus 172. 100 plus is where I bet. I didn't do the ladder. I took the straight 100 plus. And yes, will I be kicking myself if I missed out on the 80 plus at plus 114 or over 73.5? Absolutely. But I do think Bijan Robinson is going to be the main target out here, or the main weapon out here for the Atlanta Falcons. The Bills know that he is going to be so strong at running the ball, but I think they're going to have absolutely the worst time trying to stop Bijan Robinson. So if you have him in fantasy, and hopefully you're not that poor guy that grabbed Brian Robinson in the first round instead of Bijan Robinson. We all saw that video going around, because you'll be kicking yourself tonight. I think Bijan Robinson goes off. I took him for the 100 plus yards at plus 240. If you want to take him even deeper, 110 plus is plus 360. Instead of doing that, I would just look at his rushing and receiving. I do think he gets a couple of short passes out there. A rushing and receiving prop of 110 is minus 114. Now, James Cook on the other side here for Buffalo, he has a rushing prop of 89.5. We know James Cook has been nice and strong for the Buffalo Bills. I would probably look at Josh Allen for his rushing prop, 33.5. We know Josh Allen can be Superman out there. I do expect him to rush one in as well. So looking at his anytime touchdown for Josh Allen, it's coming in as I go further down the list trying to find it here. He's plus 100. So you've got Bijan Robinson is the top touchdown prop. He's coming in at minus 190. You can't take that. If you do think Bijan Robinson's going to go off like I do, you would look at the 2+ touchdowns. I'm not going to bet it though, you guys. I don't want to lay him as a fired up number at 100+ and then the 2+ touchdowns, but he is plus 290. If you just want to look at the touchdown department, he's plus 290 for 2+ touchdowns. I would also look at Dalton Kincaid here for the Buffalo Bills. I do think Dalton Kincaid can have success. He's plus 230, get in the end zone. And then, like I said, Josh Allen at plus 100. Allen, I do think, is going to have to pass this ball nice and deep in this game. We're looking at Josh Allen over 228.5 passing yards. Again, Michael Penix Jr. coming in at 225.5, but I do think we're going to see Bijan get way too much work on the ground. So I will stay off of that. When we look at the second game here, for me, the Chicago Bears versus the Washington Commanders. This is an interesting one with that spread of 5.5. We've got the revenge angle here for the Chicago Bears. Higgs is high on the Bears plus the 5.5. My gut is saying don't buy into the Chicago Bears. I trust Higgs as a handicapper, though. He is so phenomenally strong. He's dominating in the NFL. I didn't get to the window with a side in this one. I think Washington, their secondary under Dan Quinn hasn't been as strong as I expected. And I do think the Chicago Bears will be able to move the ball on that secondary. I looked at DJ Moore to go over his 39.5 receiving yards. I do think Rome Odunze is so solid out there, right? You look at him for that tutty. He's been able to get a tutty in every single game thus far this season. Ben Johnson off a bye is able to get teams into the situation where they can get the win. But is that going to be enough for the Chicago Bears team that has had some struggles? I do think we see Caleb Williams step up in this game. I want to believe in them. I want to back them. I just can't get to the window plus 5.5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to live bet this game. If Chicago goes down in that first quarter, and we're able to get them plus 7.5 over that touchdown, I will be coming back in on the Chicago Bears at that point. This game last year was so tight to the very end. Could we see another tight one here? Absolutely. Could we see Washington win on the last minute touchdown like last year? Yeah. Could we see the Bears win on that last minute touchdown? We absolutely could. Could we see this one going to overtime? My biggest question here is, will we get to overtime in this? I can't find that prop. If you guys are finding that prop on your book for this game to go to overtime, please throw it out here over on YouTube. We have the Chicago Bears team total 22.5 minus 113. The Washington Commanders team total 27.5 minus 115. Those are both to the over or under. Chicago, I do think, is going to get some points on the board today, you guys. I don't hate the over 22.5 points in this game. When I can't get to a window straight out of the gate with a team on that spread, I do look at their points. I do look at where they're going to have success. And I look at that point total, and that's where I feel more comfortable. So with the Chicago Bears, Higgs likes a plus 5.5. It's one of his premium plays, you guys. I'll take the Chicago Bears over 22.5 points at minus 113. Cody, thank you for the happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all the Canadians out here. Happy Columbus Day to everyone down there in America. So what else am I looking at in this one? We talked about Rome Odunze. We talked about Jaden Daniels as well with Higgs. I do think we see Rome Odunze have success. I do think, though, looking at Loveland, looking at Clement, is an interesting way to go. I think we're going to see Caleb Williams get it in their hands in the end zone. So at plus 310 for both of Cole Clement and Loveland for the anytime touchdown. For me, I would rather take that than another bet here like DJ Moore at plus 200. I want some more plus money, but Rome Odunze, that line is moving. He's now plus 145. He was only plus 125 before. For the anytime tutty. On the side for the Washington Commanders, I would look at Bill, but he's too juiced. Crosby Merritt coming in at minus 165. So there's a little bit of fluctuation. Debo Samuel at plus 125. He's not 100%, you guys, so I can't go there. I would probably look at Luke McCaffrey coming in. Luke McCaffrey coming in at plus 370. Again, he is your Hail Mary threat out there for Jaden Daniels. He is that long bomb down the field. His receiving yards on average per play is like 20.9. It's absolutely insane. He is that special teams kind of player that you want to look at out there on the field. So that's where I'm going to go. Looking at tonight's Monday Night Football game. Again, stay tuned to Picks and Parlays here for all of the handicappers free picks in this. The videos are out, so make sure you do check them out there. You're going to look at the anytime tutty. Stan, I don't blame you. What value are you getting on that tutty for us? And then when we look at the diamonds, you guys, I showed you that playoff picture. We all know it. I can't believe the Toronto Blue Jays are sitting here versus the Seattle Mariners. And I'm really impressed that they've been able to get to this point. Can they continue? Can they bounce back today off of that loss? Well, this kid, Savage, has been elite out in that last start versus the Yankees. And I do think he continues to have success. We talked about it here already with Sean Higgs, and I love where you guys are going with this prop here. Razor sharp picks coming in with Savage over the 13.5 outs and over the 5.5 strikeouts. I am 100% with you. I think he's able to get it done. Now, one thing that was a concern with the Blue Jays during the season was that bullpen. They have made improvements to that bullpen. I would look at the Toronto Blue Jays to get off to that hot start. I think they win the first 5 innings. Now, first 5 innings win here for the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm just going to pull up those numbers. I haven't got to the window yet. It's minus 135 in the first 5 innings. I don't love that. I don't love laying the juice. If we could look at the Toronto Blue Jays on the run line, we're going to get some plus money laying a half a run at plus 108. I'll go there. I'm comfortable with seeing them get a 1-0 first 5. You could look at the first 5 innings under 3.5 runs. It's coming in at plus 104. I know it's a low number, you guys, but I don't see a lot of runs coming straight out of the gate between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners unless we see Vladdy step up to the plate and bring someone home with him. So Vladdy is the player that really has been just outstanding for the Toronto Blue Jays. And if you guys know me, you know I've never been a big buyer in on Vladimir Guerrero. I was disappointed, to say the least, when he got that big contract. He is showing us why he got that big contract. Vladimir Guerrero for the home run is plus 320. Cal Raleigh is the odds-on favorite for the Seattle Mariners for that home run at plus 290. I do think both those players have every ability. George Springer got the home run in yesterday's game for the Toronto Blue Jays. It's going to be a battle between these two, one that I'm hoping Toronto is able to get the win. They can't go down 0-2. They're getting Savage getting the start. I will be rolling with the Toronto Blue Jays for the win. And then that next game, the LA Dodgers versus the Milwaukee Brewers. I do think the Dodgers are the right side. I love that Higgs brought up the Yurfee in this game. I do think we'll see the Yurfee. I love the Dodgers team total over 4.5 instead of the run line. I think they're able to go 5 runs in this one. You could take that or the run line here, laying run and a half at plus 106. And then the ice is going to be freaking hot today. We have the Colorado Avalanche taking on the Buffalo Sabres. You guys throughout the Avs destroying Buffalo in that one. I think Buffalo keeps pace, so I could see some goals out of the Buffalo Sabres. I will take that one over 6.5. The Tampa Bay Lightning take on the Boston Bruins. This is a 1 p.m. Eastern. It's coming up, you guys. Tampa enters as the favorite. Boston has been outplaying expectations thus far this season, and I am just blown away by them winning their first 3 games. Boston, I don't think they win this one. I would look at Tampa's team total to the over. That's going to be at 3.5. You're going to get plus money to the over. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Winnipeg Jets take on the New York Islanders. The Jets are the better team. I know the Isles are at home. The Jets are rolling in at minus 126 on the money line. I do think Winnipeg is your right side. The Ottawa Senators, you guys throw out Brady Tkachuk over 3.5 shots on goal. Brady Tkachuk for the point versus the Preds. This is a strength he's been able to have versus the Predators. I do think Ottawa gets it done here at home, but this one goes over the total of 5.5. We know the struggle that we have seen defensively for both of these teams. The Red Wings take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Prez will be at the game supporting the Leafs today. Can they get the win for him here? Well, I do think they get the win. I think they go over their team total as well. Puck line win. They absolutely have every ability to do so. Minus 1.5 at plus 152 for the Toronto Maple Leafs with Prez in the building. We're going to go there with that one. The New Jersey Devils off a nice win, taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. No way I'm betting against Columbus at home. I'm taking the Columbus Blue Jackets today at plus 102. I do think the Panthers versus the Flyers, this is going to be a sneaky game here, you guys. For the Flyers, I think they stay competitive in this one. But Florida, we know in the first period, loves to dominate. First period, the Florida Panthers coming back in on the Flyers. For me, I think both teams score in the first period. I'll take that first period over 1.5 bets. Or 1.5 goals, not 1.5 bets. The St. Louis Blues versus the Vancouver Canucks. Binghamton versus Demko, I believe, is your goaltending matchup. Jordan Binghamton coming in nice and solid for the St. Louis Blues. Total 5.5. The Blues got a nice big win over Calgary in their last game. Now looking to take out the Vancouver Canucks. This is a night game here in this one. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go with this. I'm going to have picks for you later in the day. The LA Kings versus the Minnesota Wild. We got a total of 5.5 in this. I think we sneak to that over. It's minus 134. And I think the Kings can roll in and get the win over Minnesota. But you look at Kaprizov. Kaprizov is going to be deadly out there with Matt Boldy for the Minnesota Wild. So looking at their player points parlayed together, you guys, is where you want to go. The LA Kings parlaying Kempe, Kopitar, Kuzmenko, that top line of the LA Kings will get you some great plus money. If you just want to take two of them, take Kempe and Kopitar. The Utah Mammoth taking on the Chicago Blackhawks, two young teams versus each other. Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks, dogs at home at plus 134. I do think Utah has the ability to roll in and get the win, but I think that is a scrappy, fast, hard game between those two teams. So I would look at the over. The Seattle Kraken versus the Montreal Canadiens. Seattle, worse on the road last season than at home. I'd look at Montreal to come in nice and strong. And that is tomorrow's matchup. So we've gone through everything today, you guys. You're looking at the anytime goals. Anytime goals for Kopitar. Yeah, Kopitar's last season. Look for him to come out nice and hot. You're going to take Ottawa, Montreal over 51.5. You're talking some CFL here for us on a Monday. Absolutely love it. Buffalo laying 4.5. Chicago, Washington under, or Chicago Bears versus Washington Commanders under 49.5. Over on DK at plus 617. Nice way to go, Cody. Okay, you guys, that is it for me. Thank you so much for joining me here on All-Jo Madden on Picks and Parlays. I appreciate your guys' support so very much. If you're watching this on replay, or if you've been watching live, go in to YouTube, comment below the live show. It really does help the algorithms over there. If you can hit that like, hit that notification button, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. And if you're watching over on X, give it a retweet, you guys. We're trying to push this show 5 days a week. Ultimately, I want to sit here with you Monday to Friday talking out all of these games. As you can tell, I freaking love to talk. And when I don't get to do shows with you on Monday and Wednesday, I don't know, I get kind of sad. So if you want this show 5 days a week, hit that like button, hit those comments, and hit that retweet button. You guys are absolutely the best. Thanks again for joining me here on All-Jo Madden. I will see you Thursday, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern. Bye, guys.